Verse 74. Shri Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram. मनोजवस्तीर्थकरो वसुरेता वसुप्रदः वसुप्रदो वासुदेवो वसुर्वसुमना हविः मनोजवः तीर्थकरः वसुरेता वसुप्रदः वसुप्रदः वासुदेवः वसुः वसुमना हविः मनोजवः swift and fleet as fast as the mind Tirthakaraha, creator of sacred rivers or sacred knowledge. Vasureta, emerging from effulgence. Vasupradaha, giver of wealth. Again, same name repeated, Vasupradaha, but here it means conferrer or giver of salvation. Vasudevaha, son of Vasudeva. Vasuhu, refuge of all. Vasumanaha, omnipresent, present in every being. Havihi, oblation or offering. Manojavaha means fleet as mind. Mind is supposed to be, we think of, today we are thinking of an event now, sitting in India. The very next moment, we think of our children who are in distant states or somewhere else. So our mind goes there. Physically remain here. How much time does it take for the mind to travel from here to the other end of the world? Hardly anything. So that is why the mind is supposed to test. Fleet as the mind. Lord's movement is as fast as the mind. Manojavaha. Because he is anxious to run and reach the devotee, to remove his suffering and ignorance. The best example is in the story of Gajendra Moksha, in which the king elephant, after exhausting all his efforts, after giving up hope on his relations and friends to come and rescue him, when he was not able to come out of the grip of the crocodile, he sincerely prays to Mahavishnu. The very next moment, Mahavishnu comes, appears before him, and rescues him from the crocodile. So when Gajendra called to Vishnu to save him from the crocodile, hearing his devotee's call and prayer, Vishnu rushed to the scene in no time. So this is an example of how Mahavishnu comes and rescues his true devotees. Actually speaking, Mahavishnu need not travel anywhere. He need not move from place to place because he is already there. He is all pervasive. He is present everywhere. Only he will become unmanifest and he will become manifest. That is his sweet will. Whenever they reach, wherever they reach, he is already there in the form of existence. Actually, the Mahavishnu is already there in our own hearts. For taking care of devotees, he rushes with the speed of the mind. And for uplifting them also, he is the giver of Veda Gnana. He is called Tirthakaraha. He is the creator of sacred Vidyas. Traditionally, the term Tirtha refers to a river or a sacred place where devotees take dip. But Tirtha also means Vidya or Veda or knowledge. He is the creator of the Vedas. He is the creator of the supreme knowledge. He is the teacher of the Tirthas. In that way, he is called Tirthakaraha. Narayana is the author of all scriptures, Vedas, Vedangas, everything, Puranas, Itihasa. He is the most ancient teacher of all Vidyas. He is creating, or he is creating directly, or is creating through what we call the Guru Shishya Parampara. Even Adi Shankaracharya is a manifestation of the same Supreme. Lord Krishna himself says he is Veda Vyasa. So from that we can understand that how he is creating all these sacred scriptures. And the traditional meaning of Tirtha is the one he has created all the sacred rivers in which the devotees take a dip, cleansed of all their sins. The next name indicates how the universe came into being, how it was created. This next name is Vasureta. Vasureta means emerging from effulgence. Mahavishnu is the one whose essence is golden. In the beginning of creation, there were only primeval waters. Into this ocean, the Lord dropped his essence and it became a golden egg. And from the egg, Brahma, the creator, first arose. So he is called Hiranyagarbha. Mahavishnu is called Hiranyagarbha. He is the one who has a golden womb. He is the womb of all creation. Vishvayonihi. The universe emerged from him. And this is brought out clearly in one of the scriptures. Devaka Purvam Apaka Sruštva. The Supreme Being first created water. Devaka Purvam Apaka Sruštva Tasu Viryam Apasrujam. Therein he dropped his essence. Tat Andam Abhavat Aimam. That became a golden egg. Tat Andam Abhavat Aimam. Aimam is gold. Gold Andam. Golden egg. Brahmana Karanam Param. So from that emerged Brahma, who became the creator. We know Brahma is the creator, but Brahma himself was emerged from Mahavishnu. That's why he's shown emerging from his Nabhi. Mahavishnu is reclining position, and there's a lotus coming out from his Nabhi, navel, and in that lotus you can see Brahma is sitting there. There is a graphic depiction of this particular story. Vasu means effulgence. Even Krishna was born from such effulgence only. So Krishna is also called Vasuretaha. From this name, the glory of Lord Krishna commences. From this name onwards, all the next three, four names, they give the glory of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is a giver of wealth. He's called Vasupradaha, which is the next name here. Vasupradaha means giver of wealth. In this particular name, actually next name also is Vasupradaha. So we have to stress this. Vasupradaha here, name 693 means giver of wealth. And here the wealth refers to worldly, material wealth. Money, property, grains, possession, progeny, all these things. These are also we get it from same Supreme Being. And Supreme Being, to give this wealth, he has to be the Lord of wealth. So he is Lakshmi Pati, mother goddess Lakshmi is always residing on his chest. So when he himself is Lakshmi Pati, what is the problem? He has no difficulty in giving freely wealth to anyone who seeks him with true devotion. Lord Vishnu nourishes and maintains all beings with the wealth of his consort, Sri Lakshmi, and distributes and patronizes devotees very liberally. And the next name also is Vasupradaha. This Vasupradaha next name means conferrer or a giver of salvation. Vasupradaha name 694th name means giver of salvation. The previous one said giver of material wealth. Now the real wealth is moksha, the liberation, the greatest wealth. And moksha can be gained by a devotee only through the grace, only by the grace of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu will give it to those devotees whom he considers deserving. The Supreme, who is in the form of knowledge and bliss. He is a form of knowledge, Vijnana, bliss, Ananda. So he becomes the ultimate refuge for both types of devotees. The Gnana Yogi will get Vijnana, the Karma Yogi will get Ananda. Such a supreme being gave the unique privilege to be his parents to Devaki and Vasudeva. So he is called Vasudevaha, son of Vasudeva or Vasudeva. Vasudevaha, son of Vasudeva. Son of Vasudeva is Lord Krishna. It also means one who is Vasu and Deva. This name can be split and read separately. Vasu and Deva. Vasu means one who dwells in all creatures as their individuality. Jiva Rupa. As Jiva Rupa resides in them, he is called Vasu. Deva means one who revels, one who shines, one who has effulgence. Therefore, this name for Lord Krishna means Krishna is the one who revels in every living creature as the Jiva entity in each individual being. The Supreme Being is the refuge of all because he is present everywhere. Vasuhu. Vasuhu means refuge of all, one who dwells within every individual as the mind, but which is veiled by Maya. The Maya, the mind projects display of things, beings, emotions, and thoughts as the outer world. The world is a shadow show around the pure consciousness. It is like image, it is shadow, it is not real. The real one, the real object is the pure consciousness. What we see is only an image or a shadow. Again, Lord Krishna, key of chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga, declares actually, this is the beginning of the Vibhuti Lord Krishna in chapter 10. He makes a very, very profound statement. Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayastitaha. I am the self seated in the heart of all the beings. Aham Atma. Oh, Arjuna, Gudakesha. Arjuna is Gudakesha. Or Gudakesha means Arjuna. Aham Atma Sarvabhutashayastitaha. Then he adds further, Aham Adihi, Aham Madhyam, Aham Cha Antaha, Bhutanam. Aham Bhutanam Adihi, Madhyam Cha Antaha, Anta Eva Cha. He says, I am the beginning, I am the middle, and also the end of all the beings. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasha Yastitaha Ahamatischa Madhyam Cha Bhutana Manta Eva Cha. All beings have emerged out of me. They exist in me and must come back to me. This is what the Lord says. Because the Lord, He alone is the refuge, for there is no other existence. Now, being present everywhere is called Vasumana, omnipresent. Omnipresent means Vasumana, one who is attentive to, and therefore he is extremely attentive to us. He is therefore concerned with us, concerned with every object and every being in this world. So that is why he is always there to protect us, protect the devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam. And main purpose is uphold righteousness, to see that the universe behaves and works as per the universal, inviolable laws. Yatta nanyat pasyati, nanyat srunoti, nanyat vijanati, sabhuma. Chandogya Upanishad says the state in which nothing else can be seen, nothing else can be heard, nothing else can be contemplated. That is this state of supreme bliss. supreme bliss Anandaha. That is the state of liberation, where nothing else can be seen, nothing else can be heard, nothing else can be contemplated. Yatta nanyat pashyati, yatta nanyat srunoti, yatta nanyat vijanati, sa bhuma. That is the state. And this is called samastiti, where in all the beings and non-beings, the one and the same supreme consciousness can be perceived. But to perceive this, we require the supreme knowledge, which we'll get only with the grace of the supreme beings. Once we understand this, or one who understands what is, once who understand this, once a person understands this, for him, what is there that is not Brahman? What is there that can be offered to Brahman as an oblation? Oblation is Havihi. This we'll see in the next name. Oblation, Havihi. Havi is that which we offer unto him. But now we realize what we offer is also permitted by him. There is nothing other than him. He himself being everywhere, in all places, at all times. Now, what is that we can offer to him? But we conduct yajna, we conduct a sacrifice, or we think we conduct a sacrifice, but this is only a illusion. The reality is, it brings out very clearly in verse 24, chapter 4. This is a very common verse. This is recited always before we supposed to take food. We should suppose to recite this. ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्म कर्म samadhina. Now, Brahma Karma Samadhina is a yogi who is established in Brahman, and for him, his destination, that is Gantavyam, is again Brahman. He is established in Brahman. His destination, or what he is seeking from sacrifice, the phalam, what we call it, the destination is also Brahman. What is that he is doing? He is offering a havis in the sacrifice. So, what is offering, what is putting there is also Brahman. What you call havi, oblation, is Brahman. Now, what the act of offering is also Brahman. And who is offering? The Brahman. To whom is offering? To the fire, which is also Brahman. Now you can see there is nothing else except Brahman. The act of offering is Brahman. The oblation is Brahman, offered by Brahman in the fire of Brahman. And for a yogi established in Brahman, the destination, phalam, is also Brahman. Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. This verse beautifully brings out the all pervasiveness of Brahman. Now we'll conclude this with the Shanti Mantra. Satoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Yotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.